Welcome to the Narrowing Path, Walking the Spiritual Walk. My name is Stephen Einstein. Thank y'all for joining me again today for July 6th reading of James Allen's Daily Meditations. I'm looking forward to it. It's been a great ride so far for July. It's beginning the second half of the year correctly. I can tell you that much. So I'm very excited about it. This will be fresh to you and fresh to me, of course, meaning this will be the first time that I read it or hear this meditation. So you'll get my genuine response, reactions, observations, and what I relate to about the reading. So here we go. This is July 6th reading for James Allen's Daily Meditations. To know love is to know that there is no harmful power in the whole universe. Hmm. If a man would know love and partake of its undying bliss, he must practice it in his heart. He must become love. He who always acts from the spirit of love is never deserted, is never left in a dilemma or difficulty, for love, impersonal love, is both knowledge and power. He who has learned how to love has learned how to master every difficulty. The way to love is by self mastery, and traveling that way, a man builds himself up in knowledge as he proceeds. Arriving at love, he enters into full possession of body and mind by right of the divine power which he has earned. Perfect love casteth out fear. Perfect love is perfect harmlessness. And he who has destroyed himself all thoughts of harm, and he who has destroyed in himself all thoughts of harm and all desire to harm, receives the universal protection. That is a powerful meditation today. I'll tell you that much. Excuse me. That that is one of the main goals of walking this life, living this lifestyle, practicing these principles, is to hold love in your heart. You said in there somewhere, you must become love. It means everything you think and every action you take comes from a place of love and service to others. And what a promise that is at the end. He who has destroyed in himself all thoughts of harm, all desire to harm, receives universal protection. That's pretty big, right? And we can only do that by genuinely having love within ourselves. Because anything else, fear especially, driving our thoughts, will lead us to take actions for personal gain rather than to be of service for someone else. And we like to hide our selfishness in acts of service because we believe it will serve us best in the long run. But you're still coming from a place of fear, of self-centeredness, which is always a painful spot, which is never a honest place to be operating from. So here we go. Let's go ahead and we'll go through this one again. I'm excited to go through this one line by line. To know love is to know that there is no harmful power in the whole universe. That's an interesting statement to me, right? It just is. To know love is to know there is no harmful power in the whole universe. So that must, so if through God and nature, there is no harmful power, the only thing that does harm then is us, us our selfishness and our self-centeredness, right? The only thing that can actually cause harm to somebody is our own perspective and taking actions on that. Well, even when you do that, though, Yeah. Because even if the other person is living this type of lifestyle, and if it operates from a place of genuine love and appreciation and service, you can still cause somebody harm, cause that individual harm. But though he may only take loving actions and only reciprocate with loving actions. So to know love is to know that there is no harmful power in the whole universe. There's nothing out there in the universe driving overwhelming sense of evil or a sense of harm, a desire to harm. Now to the main body of this. If a man would know love and partake of its undying bliss, he must practice it in his heart. And that's what we're talking about here, right? Because we stop that's part of how this work works, how this work progresses, maybe is a better way to say it, is we stop the external behaviors till we can see the thoughts behind it. We stop the thoughts, we change the thoughts to see the intention behind them. Where are they being born from? Where are they just appearing from? Because they come from somewhere. And when we see that it's our intention, what what is our soul filled with? What is our heart overflowing with? Then we can start to choose to operate from somewhere else. We can start to choose to be loving and take loving actions and have loving thoughts. And we must practice it in our heart. It starts there. So if a man would know love and partake of its undying bliss, that's a cool little promise thrown in there. Take part of its undying bliss, he must practice it in his heart. Then he finishes the whole sentence after the semicolon with, he must become love. He must become love. Embody it. Have it a part of your essence, have it part of your character, a part of who you are. It's incredibly important. It's incredibly important. And you can have that. That's the amazing part about it. You can practice this way of living. You can practice love to the point where you just walk into a room and people can sense it. People can sense the peace radiating off you, the joy that's radiating off you, the love, the forgiveness, the happiness, the contentment with life. You can make peace in a room by just entering it when you truly hold love in your heart. And I believe that. I've been around people that have done it. I believe I've done it a couple of times when I'm really being diligent about doing this work and living this way of life. It's amazing the power holding love in your soul and your heart can actually wield. I never thought it would be possible. I didn't know there was that type of strength in the room by just how you carry yourself. It's amazing, actually. So, all right. Goes on to say, he who acts from the spirit of love is never deserted, is never left in a dilemma or difficulty, for love, impersonal love, is both knowledge and power. It is. It's to have a general loving disposition towards absolutely everybody keeps you connected to the God of your understanding, that power of the universe, the source, mother nature, or whatever you want to call it. You stay connected to that. And you know what the right actions are. It is never left in a dilemma or difficulty. Why? Because being loving in a situation is quite simple. You know, when we get our own selfish desires and selfish centeredness involved in decision making, suddenly it can get much more complicated. It can get very far away from the place it needs to be operating from. So, when acting from the spirit of love, holding the spirit of love in your heart, you will never be left in a dilemma or difficulty. For love and personal love, meaning, yeah, the general feeling of love for all human beings, all things living, or well, what did it say yesterday? Animate and inanimate, living and non living. For love is both knowledge and power. It really is. It's a place of power that was different than I ever thought it would feel like. Because I get to walk away from things. I get to know where my place is. I get to know what is my responsibility to address. I get to know what actions I am responsible for taking in all situations. And that's amazing. And that's powerful because I know as long as I am doing the right thing, my soul is at peace. My soul does not need to be comforted. There's just so much power in that, and knowledge and knowing, and you get to know the right action, and you get to be proud and have faith in your decision. That creates a very, very potent mixture for walking with your head up high. I talked about that, I believe, 2 days ago. Um, you walk with your back straighter and looking people in the face because we're living honestly and with surety. He who has learned how to love has learned how to master every difficulty. I think that's true. When I'm going through something, because I'm not perfect at this, obviously, I have a lot of work left to do. If I can get the mind about me to say, if I was acting from a place of love, what would I do? And sometimes that's all it takes to completely change the direction my mind is taking, my emotions taking. It grounds me back in reality. If I was going to act out of love, what would I do? Because it kind of forces you to sidestep your own emotions and picture where you want to be actually. And it helps diffuse those situations a lot. At least it's been my experience that it has. Love really does let us master every difficulty and walk through it proudly. The way to love is by self-mastery, and traveling that way, a man builds himself up in knowledge as he proceeds. We're going to learn along the way, right? Like this is all learning. This isn't the win-lose concept. You will learn from every interaction and every experience you have, and that is the primary goal as you grow in knowledge and understanding of what living this life looks like and what having proper intentions and functioning from a place of love looks like. We will not do it perfectly. I have not done it perfectly, at least, but we will strive to do it perfectly. We will aim for perfect and make that constant improvement, that constant progress as we continue to shoot for that image of perfection, that ideal, right? That's what we've called it and talked about. It's that ideal that we have pictured for ourselves. Christ-like ideal, righteous ideal, truthful ideal. However you want to, whatever you want, if you want to label it, whatever it is, right? As we strive towards that ideal, we will make progress. And you will learn so much about the world, yourself, and others as you continue to change the way you live. Arriving at love, he enters into full possession of mind and body by right of the divine power which he has earned. When you function from love, you get the freedom. There is such freedom when you move and you are operating from a place of love and joy. You have the freedom to control your mind. You have the freedom to control your body, to improve your body, to improve your mind. Excuse me. Freedom is found through love and then the discipline of maintaining that lifestyle. And you're granted this power, this strength of being from this. Full possession of mind and body, body and mind, by right of the divine power which he has earned. It's an amazing journey. He ends the main body of this with perfect love casteth out fear. When you operate from love and you're thinking about others and God, there's no room to think about yourself and the fears that well, there's no room for me to think about myself and my fears that have held me up for so long. I only think about being of service to God and others now. It's my primary goal. And I don't have to fear anything. All right. This is how he closes it out here. Perfect love is perfect harmlessness. And this I think is important to say right here. This isn't a perfect harmlessness because you cannot do harm. This is a chosen path. This is a chosen harmlessness. Right? We talked about virtue. And virtue is being able to have the choice to perform, to act negatively or positively. And you don't behave a certain way because it's the only way you can, but you have the capability to be evil. You have the capability to harm, but you choose not to. And you trust the process and you trust the God of your understanding. So when it says perfect love is perfect harmlessness, it's a chosen harmlessness. And he who has destroyed in himself all thoughts of harm and all desire to harm receives the universal protection. That's where the strength, the knowledge comes from, the peace, the joy, the contentment. When you stop that negative thinking and wishing on others. Just a beautiful reading today. Perfect love, perfect harmlessness. So, all right. Well, thank y'all so much for jumping on and listening to me again today. I really do appreciate it. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's. Get the last day of the week knocked out and kind of have a good trajectory for July so far. I've been very, very excited about the reading so far, and I hope you all have been too. If you'd like, you can go over to our Facebook page, give us a like or a follow, and you'll be kept up to date with any new episodes or new types of shows that might be or may not be coming around. So I'm really looking forward to it. So we'll be back tomorrow. Until next time, thanks.